Dear friends, have you ever suddenly woken up in the middle of the night, looked at the clock, and realized it was exactly 3 a.m., only to toss and turn endlessly, unable to fall back asleep? You lie there in the darkness, the room completely silent, while countless questions start to swirl in your mind. Is there something wrong with my body? Why does my mind feel so restless? If you've ever experienced this, know that you are not alone. Many older adults share the very same experience. People often assume that insomnia or waking up at 3 a.m. is just an inevitable part of aging. But the truth is far more complex. Behind those seemingly random awakenings lies a much bigger picture. Changes in the body, in the mind, and in the natural rhythms of life that we rarely pay attention to. It's not simply about health problems. It's also about how your body is adapting, functioning, and quietly sending you signals. I want you to see this phenomenon from a different perspective. Don't rush to label it as a problem or a sign that your body is breaking down. Waking up at 3 a.m. could actually be a message, an inner reminder. It shows that you're entering a new stage of life, where sleep, emotions, and daily habits begin to shift to better align with age and experience. In this video, we'll explore 5 deeper reasons why so many older adults find themselves waking up around 3 a.m. Each reason opens a new window into understanding your body, from hormonal changes and shifting circadian rhythms to subtle emotional factors and seemingly small lifestyle habits. And once you truly understand these causes, you'll no longer feel helpless or frustrated when your sleep is interrupted. Instead, you'll learn how to listen, adjust, and work with your body rather than against it. Think of it this way. Maybe 3 a.m. is not your enemy that ruins your sleep, but rather a quiet moment to look deeper into yourself. In that stillness, your body and soul may be whispering to you. It's time to pay more attention to your health, your emotions, and the rhythm of your daily life. If you know how to listen, 3 a.m. can become a moment of balance and reflection, rather than just another source of frustration. So, if you've ever asked yourself, why do I keep waking up at this hour? Stay with us until the end of this video. What you discover may not only help you sleep better, but also help you appreciate your body and the journey you're on in a whole new way. Now let's begin. Reason number 1, decline in melatonin production. Have you ever wondered why? When you were younger, you could sleep straight through the night. But now, as you enter your later years, you find yourself waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. and struggling to fall back asleep. One of the deeper reasons lies in a silent friend within your body, melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle, helping you drift into deep rest and stay there throughout the night. When you were young, your body produced melatonin in abundance and with consistency. That's why you enjoyed long, uninterrupted nights of sleep. But over time, melatonin production gradually declines. Eventually, sometime around 2, 3, or 4 a.m., when melatonin levels drop to low, your brain no longer has enough of this guiding signal to keep you in a restful state. The result is waking up, not because of a nightmare or a noise, but simply because your body is shifting back toward wakefulness. This doesn't mean you've done something wrong, nor does it mean your body is failing. It's simply the natural change in your internal chemistry. Still, your environment can make things worse. The glow of a streetlight through the window, the blue light of a phone screen before bed, even the blinking digits of an alarm clock, all can further suppress the already reduced melatonin levels that come with age. Take the story of Liam, age 70. For most of his life, he prided himself on being a great sleeper. But recently, like clockwork, he found himself wide awake at 3:15 a.m. No trace of drowsiness left. Instead of blaming himself, Liam dug deeper and discovered that declining melatonin was the real culprit. He began to make changes, keeping his bedroom darker, avoiding screens before bedtime, and taking gentle evening walks to support his body's circadian rhythm. Little by little, his sleep began to improve. His story teaches us a powerful lesson. When we understand the root cause, we stop resenting our bodies and start working with them. Knowledge transforms frustration into compassion, and with that compassion comes better choices. Choices that allow us to care for ourselves more gently, even in the stillness of the night. Reason number 2, shifted sleep cycle, advanced sleep phase. One of the quiet yet powerful changes that strongly affects sleep as we grow older is the shift in our biological rhythm. The human body functions like a clock. When we are young, that clock is usually set so that we stay awake later, fall asleep later, and wake up with the rising sun. But as the years go by, that clock tends to run faster, nudging us to feel sleepy earlier in the evening and to wake earlier in the morning. This explains why many older adults notice themselves nodding off at just 8 or 9 p.m., only to wake wide awake at 3 a.m., while the world outside is still pitch dark. They often assume they are suffering from insomnia, but in reality, the body is simply operating on a new schedule, one that age has carefully reset. Imagine your body as a wall clock. When you were young, it kept perfect time, in sync with the sun. But as the years pass, the hands of that clock gradually shift forward, running a little earlier each year. The result is that you go to bed earlier without meaning to, and naturally wake earlier, often without an alarm. The interesting thing is, this shift is not inherently bad. It only becomes inconvenient when your lifestyle or family routine no longer matches this new rhythm. If your household stays active late at night while you're already in bed, or if you want to sleep until morning but find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., frustration is easy to understand. Take Noah, age 68 and retired. He usually eats dinner at 5:30 p.m., watches a little television, and is often asleep by 9 p.m. The result? By 3 a.m., he is completely alert. At first, he worried he was developing insomnia. But once he understood that this was simply the advanced sleep phase, a natural shift in sleep timing with age, he felt much more at ease. Noah then made small adjustments, reading under a warm lamp before bed, taking a gentle walk after dinner, or spending a bit more time chatting with his daughter in the evening. These small cues helped him extend his sleep and reduced his early wake-ups. The lesson here is clear. Our bodies are not broken. They are simply resetting the clock. When you learn to cooperate with this new rhythm rather than fight against it, those early awakenings no longer feel like intrusions, but instead become part of a new cycle you can learn to live in harmony with. Reason number 3, physical discomfort and health-related issues. A very common reason why older adults often wake up around 3 a.m. is the signals coming from the body. When we are young, sleep tends to be deep and far less disturbed by small sensations. But over time, the body becomes more sensitive, and even minor discomforts can be enough to wake us in the middle of the night. Think of the dull ache in your joints if you suffer from arthritis, or the burning sensation of acid reflux if you've had a late dinner. During the day, you may ignore these sensations easily, but in the quiet of night, even the slightest twinge can pull you out of rest. It might be a sudden muscle cramp, a dry mouth, or even a slight change in room temperature. What seems trivial by day can become powerful enough to disrupt the fragile sleep of later life. Another common factor, especially for older men, is the need to get up and use the bathroom. As the bladder loses elasticity with age, the urge to urinate comes more quickly and often during the night, usually around 2 or 3 a.m. And once you've left the bed and moved around, your body often shifts fully from deep sleep to alertness, making it much harder to return to rest. We also can't forget that many older adults take daily medications. Heart medications, blood pressure pills, or pain relievers often carry side effects such as frequent urination, changes in body temperature, or heightened sensitivity to light and sound. This means nighttime awakenings are sometimes less about aging itself and more about the very medicine you're taking. Take the story of Emma, age 74. She had always been a light sleeper, but for the past year, she found herself waking up almost every night at 3:30 a.m. At first, she assumed it was simply part of getting older. But after consulting her doctor, she discovered the real reason. One of her medications was increasing nighttime urination. By adjusting the timing of her dose and making a few small lifestyle changes, her sleep improved significantly. The key takeaway is this: waking up in the middle of the night does not mean your body is failing. On the contrary, it's proof that your body is still working, alerting you, signaling you, and reminding you to pay closer attention to your health. If you learn to listen, these nightly disturbances can become gentle warning bells, guiding you to adjust your habits, care for yourself more wisely, and ultimately rest more peacefully. Reason number 4: lifestyle habits that influence sleep rhythms. Have you noticed how, after retirement, your daily pace becomes much quieter? Fewer commutes, fewer meetings, no more tight schedules pushing you to stay active all day. Instead, life shifts into calm afternoons, earlier dinners, and sometimes even a short nap while watching the evening news. These small changes, though seemingly harmless, can actually shift your entire biological rhythm. When you eat dinner around 5 or 6 p.m., you naturally start to feel sleepy earlier. With fewer activities at night, your body begins releasing melatonin sooner, signaling that it's time to go to bed. And because you fall asleep earlier, you also tend to wake up earlier, sometimes at 3 a.m., even when the outside world is still completely silent. This isn't insomnia. It's simply your body responding to a new lifestyle. We also can't ignore the impact of diet. Eating dinner too early can sometimes cause your blood sugar to drop in the middle of the night, waking you up without you even realizing why. Or that afternoon cup of coffee, which may never have bothered you before, now lingers longer in your system because your metabolism has slowed with age, making your sleep lighter and more fragile. Take Henry, age 76, for example. After retiring, he gradually fell into a routine. Dinner at 5 p.m., dozing off in his recliner around 8, and heading to bed before 9. Before long, he noticed a pattern. He was waking up at 3 a.m., completely alert, while the rest of the world was still fast asleep. At first, he assumed it was simply a sign of aging, but after reflecting on his habits, he realized that his early routine had unknowingly shifted his sleep cycle forward. Henry began making small adjustments, taking a light walk in the evening, reading under a warm lamp after dinner, and avoiding those unplanned naps before bedtime. These little changes helped him go to sleep a bit later and naturally wake up closer to morning, instead of in the middle of the night. This shows us something important. Sleep is not just a matter of biology. It's also deeply connected to daily habits. By observing and identifying changes in your lifestyle, you can gently retrain your body's rhythm and enjoy nights of deeper, more peaceful rest. Reason number 5: emotional and psychological restlessness. Not every reason you wake up at 3 a.m. comes from the body. Sometimes, it's the mind that keeps you awake. When we are young, life is filled with busyness, work, children, responsibilities. That constant motion acts like a layer of dust covering up our deeper emotions. But as we grow older and life slows down, the mind has more space. And it's often in the still hours, around 3 a.m., when everything is quiet, that feelings, memories, or worries rise to the surface with surprising strength. It might be sadness over a decision from long ago, an unresolved relationship, or simply the loneliness of an empty house when children have grown and friends are less present. What seemed like the past suddenly returns, slipping into your thoughts and pulling you from sleep. Unlike the loud anxiety of youth, these thoughts whisper softly, persistent but quiet, like an endless murmur in the background. Take Sophia, age 80, widowed for many years. During the day, she stays busy tending her small garden, calling her grandchildren, and watching her favorite shows. But at night, especially around 3 a.m., her mind drifts back to memories with her late husband. At first, she thought something was wrong with her sleep, but she eventually realized It wasn't a disorder at all. It was her heart asking to be heard. To face this, Sophia kept a small notebook by her bed. Whenever she woke, she would jot down a few thoughts, sometimes a memory, sometimes just a passing worry. She also began listening to soft music or writing a short card to a friend. These small acts gave her emotions a gentle outlet, easing her mind and helping her drift back to sleep more peacefully. The truth is, the heart doesn't follow a strict schedule. It can bring up unfinished feelings at any time, and sometimes it chooses 3 a.m. to speak. But this is not weakness, it's the depth of lived experience. If you find yourself awake with your thoughts wandering, treat it as an opportunity to listen rather than trying to silence them. When we learn to honor even those nameless emotions in the dark, we don't just sleep more easily. We also come to understand ourselves more deeply in this stage of life. Dear friend, after exploring the 5 reasons, perhaps you've realized something important. Waking up at 3 a.m. doesn't mean your body is broken or that you've done something wrong. In truth, it's simply a natural part of aging. When hormones shift, biological rhythms change, health sends subtle signals, habits play their role, and the heart sometimes longs to be heard. Instead of reacting with anger or worry, try to see these awakenings from a different perspective, as messages your body and soul are sending you. Maybe it's a reminder to pay more attention to your evening routines. Maybe it's a signal that your health needs a bit more care. Or perhaps it's simply an invitation to listen to emotions you've left unattended. Many people see interrupted sleep as an enemy, but if you learn to listen, you'll discover it can also be a teacher. It teaches you how to observe your body, how to adjust your habits, and, most importantly, how to face yourself in the quiet of the night. Sometimes, what we need isn't just a few more hours of sleep, but an inner peace that allows rest to come naturally and gently. And remember, you are not alone. Millions of older adults around the world have found themselves wide awake at 3 a.m., just like you. The difference lies in how we respond. Some resent their bodies, some resign themselves to it, but others choose to accept, adjust, and find peace. And that choice makes all the difference in the quality of life during our later years. If you're watching this video, pause for a moment and ask yourself,